Derek Eric Mati. Director ko to eh. Si Eric Mati.
Good afternoon,
we've been
good
together
afternoon
for so
po,
many years.
Your Honors. Good
Sige.
afternoon, everyone.
And also, Don Monteverde.
Don.
Are you going to deliver some manifestation as well? Sana na lang, Eric Mati.
So, maybe on behalf of
Hello.
Don, we can speak for Jade. Lahat naman nag-a-attest sa kung gaano kabait ni Jade Castro, di ba? From our end, we are currently working with Jade Castro for an HBO project. And he was supposed to, actually, when he was there in Quezon, he was supposed to watch the edited material of our project the week after, which sadly hindi na nangyari yun. Blow by blow, alam ko yung nangyari from the very beginning kasi we were in touch doon sa, natawa pa nga kami una nung nahuli sila kasi parang joke eh. Parang eventually, siyempre naging bangungot yung kwento, di ba? Pero nakakatawa siya nung simula eh, na parang, ha? Napagkamalan kayo? Tangina, layo-layo nyo dun sa... Ay, sorry.
Bawal sinabi.
Ang layo-layo nyo
Please
dun.
refrain na, Direk. Please refrain from saying
Yes, yes, yes.
words
Sorry,
like that.
sorry. Ang layo-layo nila, tapos nahuli sila. And so, we were thinking mistaken identity, baka naman may additional pa na investigation na malalaman kung sila ba talaga o hindi. And then all of a sudden, we were expecting Friday na before 5 makalabas sila. And then nagulat kami, hindi sila nakalabas, no? And then that story about the waiver na pirmahan nila, which kami rin, hindi namin maintindihan anong pinaniwala sa kanila ng abogado nila para mapirmahan nila yon. Whether they were able to actually read it, it was actually explained to them. Actually, it was raised sa prosecutor. I was there in the hearing. It was raised on the prosecutor na bakit may napirmahang waiver, no? Bigla. Well, anyway, hindi naman ako abogado, so I don't know anong explanation nun. Pero this case is really bizarre. This case is bizarre kasi anybody who looks at the facts of the case, ako mahilig ako sa mga mga crime stories, mahilig ako sa law and order. Pag tinignan mo yung facts ng case, nakakatawa yung paano ginawa yung pag-aresto sa kanila. 'Di ba? Sino ang aakyat sa bus na hindi niya muna susuotin yung bonnet at biglang nag-bonnet, 'di ba? Parang sinong pinapaniwala mo niyan, 'di ba? And originally, nabasa ko yung report ng Bureau of Fire. Sa Bureau of Fire, naka-mask lahat eh. Pero pagdating dito sa police, iba na yung nakasulat. 'Di ba? Pero natatakot kami magsalita kasi mga kaibigan namin nandun pa sa kulungan. 'Di ba? Eh alam naman natin yung history ng mga pulis natin. Hindi naman lahat. Pero yung history ng pulis na pwede namang nag-suicide ka na lang bigla na hindi ka naman nag-suicide, 'di ba? So, natatakot lang kami kaya hindi naman kami makapagsabi talaga ng kung anong mga iba-ibang mga problema nung kaso na pinaratang sa kanila. So, I hope that this committee could open up all the conversation about it. Kasi, and hindi lang sana tayo mahiya mag-point out ng kung anong mali din ng police. Or kung may mali naman sila, di point out din, di ba? Pero, as I look at the case, without being a lawyer, parang mali talaga, no? So, yun.
Quiet, please. Okay. Having said all those things, I hope that you will agree as well that, of course, lahat naman tayo na tao, even that yung presumption natin na lahat na we have good intention, we have all these praises, but behind our minds, no, there are some evil intent. No, we're not saying that he did it, but of course, we cannot. We will agree that somehow a certain percentage of the reality of life, meron tayong ganon eh. But of course, ang ating lang po tinatakal dito are the procedural, maybe procedural lapses that this committee are probably seeing, on the protocol that is being followed by our PNP. And I hope that hindi naman kayo kasama doon sa pinaglalaban ni Direk Castro about dun sa kasi I have seen yung this is one of the basis of the prosecutor as well yung kanyang pagiging connect doon sa transport strike, di ba, yung sa anti-modernization. He was really fighting for the yung sa modernization. And well, I think well, I'm not a lawyer, but of course this not alone at hindi lang ito lang yung basis for him to be accused of, no? But of course, hindi naman kayo member ng ng anti-modernization program of the government. Kasi
parang sobrang dami siguro, sobrang dami namang nagpo-post against or for, di ba? Pero not necessarily na mga chuper kami or may kikitain kami dun sa tungkol sa modernization ng jeepney. Siyempre, people voice out on social media however they feel.
yeah, okay, thank you so much, Direk. And sige, I will yield back to Congresswoman Brosas, but ayun nag-raise hand yung si can we recognize
Yes, Mr. Chair. Si tatay po. Oo.
Ako po ang ama ni Jade.
Okay, sige sir,
Manuel
you
Castro.
are recognized.
Ang gusto ko lang po banggitin na ano yung personal kong karanasan, simula nung arastuhin si Jade. Okay, Webes ng gabi, alas 11, nung tumawag sa amin yung kapatid niya, si Jasper, na may problema nga raw. Pupunta raw siya ng Katanawan. Hindi ako pumayag. Sabi ko, sasamahan kita tayong dalawa. Para po sa kaalaman nyo, wala kaming kaalam-alam talaga. At ang pagkaalam din namin, wala rin silang kaalam-alam kung anong nangyayari. Kaya kami, ang nasa isipan namin, nung kami nung anak ko ay tumungo ng Katanawan, ay iuwi na namin si Jade. Ganun ang nasa isip namin. Hindi pala nangyari yun. Pati po nung preliminary investigation, ganun din po inaasahan namin. Naiuwi na namin siya. Ngayon, yung unang pagkataon na pumunta kami doon, Biyernes, wala kami kaalam-alam, no? With respect po sa honorable congressman, miski kami hindi po namin naiintindihan yung inquest College graduate din po ako, college graduate din po ang asawa ko, pero wala ho kaming alam. Dumating ho kami doon sa lugar na yon para kaming foreigner. Hindi kami tiga roon, wala kaming kakilala. Kaya yung kapatid ho na isa ni Orsini, si Ernesto, sila ho yung naghanap na abogado. So wala kaming alam So on the spot, doon kami kumuha ng abogado. No? Yun lang masasabi ko, wala kaming kaalam-alam sa nangyari at sa pagkaalam din namin, wala din silang kaalam-alam sa nangyayari. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you so much. Congresswoman
Yes.
Brosas, before you proceed, the Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Alfred De Los Santos and Congressman Eddie Bong Plaza. Brother, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Kaya kanina I was asking yung mapapunta yung first na abogado, Mr. Chair, nung wala ka pa. So I asked it and sabi naman ni Senior Vice Chair, he agrees with me na baka pwede maimbitahan natin yun, Mr. Chair. Yung previous niyang abogado.
Okay, so we will be inviting over also Attorney
Ilang
Abadilla.
oras lang ba yan, Mr. Chair? Papunta
And also
dito?
yung sa
Malayo,
yung
7
invitation sa Mikasa and also yung mga nag-report about it. Sige, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would like to ask for si Director Carlos Sigion Reyna yata was about to tell us something.
No, it was. No, I was just going to answer sana. I don't know if the question was rhetorical. Tinanong ni Chair Dan Fernandez about kung ano kami dun sa anti-modernization. I was just going to answer that. No, walang position ng DGPI on anything regarding that anti-modernization. In fact, this is the first time I've heard about.
Hindi naman masama yung mag-anti-modernization actually kami kay Congressman Ako being the chair of the Committee on Transportation and Arlene Brosas, we are fighting for the traditional jeepneys. Pinaglalaban namin yun eh. Ang ayaw lang naman din sa programa is the right-away consolidation. Saka natin
Yeah.
topic yun sa kanyang committee na yun at hindi na po dito. But okay po yun. What I'm trying to point out, kung radical yung grupo, that is something that we have to be worried about. But I think based on your mga sinasabi about Jade Castro, talagang napakabuting tao. But of course, it's not only the basis. That's what I'm trying to point out, no. We know yung personality niya, but of course, we really don't know what's behind of every individual's minds. Di ba? Kaya yun lang sinasabi po lang natin dito sa area. We're trying to be impartial here. All the congressmen who are here, even I came from the industry of showbiz, kailangan balanse po tayo and we have to protect the rights of our PNP officials as well. Because in all intent and purposes, baka they're doing the right thing. But of course, hindi nga na po natin alam and that's the reason why doon po tayo nagbe-base sa procedure. Okay, so go ahead, Congresswoman Brosas, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, do you si Director Carlos, meron pa po ba kayo idadagdag? I believe ang sinabi niyo lang neutral kasi ang DGPI. So wala talagang wala siyang stand on some issues.
We're a private cultural group basically regarding film industry issues. Basically the founding, if there's any one principle na talagang we really stand for from the very beginning, and one of the founding principles on which kasi we reacted when we incorporated was really the irresponsible censorship that was happening at the time, around that time in the early 90s. And, so it was a founding principle namin is really freedom of expression. If there's any political, a thrust that we have, it's really for freedom of expression. Pero wala kaming, and then on other issues we react, syempre, kung merong mga expansions of, let's say, itong expansions of, when let's say the MTRCB tries to overreach or ganon mga areas of jurisdiction, o kaya things like the Eddie Garcia bill that has been discussed here and in the Senate, we're very active in that kasi it affects basically our work. So, but yeah, basically those are our main concerns, mga industry issues, and of course freedom of expression. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, nangangamba ko dun sa mga projects pa ni Jade Castro kasi yun yung sinasabi nila. And pwede ko bang matanong si Rep. Toff de Venecia kaugnay dun sa Rep, paano ang mangyayari dyan kung, di ba sa creative industries ka naman, so maantala yung mga projects and whatever.
I'm sure the DGPI can attest, Mr. Chair, pero madadelay yung administration ng mga projects, no? But I'm really more concerned about like the chilling
Sige,
effect.
Congressman Toff muna. Sige, go ahead.
Sorry, can I? No, I'm just really concerned about the chilling effect that this has on like the industry. Whether he was there to do research or even if he was there to do location scouting, which those that do filming in the regions want to do. Parang kung ganitong may arbitrary or hindi masyadong solidong administrative justice na nangyayari, parang ma-discourage yung mga filmmakers, film workers natin to shoot in other provinces and regions. And we know that the regions need this economic stimulus of being shooting in their provinces being done, and that's why we are advocating for decentralization of creativity also away from NCR. But we know that there's a lot of costs that are incurred if you're going to shoot in the regions. I myself have actually collaborated with Jade and with Direk Peterson. They shot in Dagupan 5-6 months ago for a project. I'm not going to disclose the details of that shoot. However, yeah, we proponents of creative industries, especially in the regions, we do want to encourage these top of mind, excellent, creatives to actually consider shooting in our regions. And if you have something like this happening, even to the likes of Jade and his colleagues, I mean, I'm really concerned about the chilling effect. Again, I don't know Jade so well, and but I do know that he's well loved in the industry. And I was just at art fair yesterday, and I saw Moira Lang's exhibit, and there's a whole Free Jade Castro vignette there. And from having interacted with this person, that's the least that I would ever expect of him. No, that's why I am as shocked as everybody here. It was news that broke out that at first, just like Eric Mati, I found funny until it was not, because now it's been like almost a month since his detention. His wrongful detention, it seems, as being established here in this committee. So I just urge, Mr. Chair, that we act swiftly and objectively, substantially, justly in the dispensation of this case. Because yes, I mean, gaya ng sabi ni Kong Arlene, projects are being affected. It sends a chilling effect for the film industry as well as for the entire creative industry. It's not just film that can create content in the regions. You know, you also have theater and you also have music. People might be dissuaded from actually going to the regions because of what happened to Jade. What more that he was there to catch a fiesta, parati pong inimbitahan ng mga creative sa fiesta para mag-showcase ng kanilang content, whether performer or magpalabas ng pelikula. May mga film festivals rin po tayo. Baka matakot yung mga alagad ng sining po natin na pumunta sa mga rehiyon kasi walang kakilala, tapos biglang mangyari sa kanya yung ganyan. Pero hindi naman po na binabaliwala natin yung contribution ng ating kapulisan, because we do acknowledge also their role in peace and order, no? And we very much value what it is that they bring to nation building. Pero sana po, Mr. Chair, kung may pagkakamali, magkaroon ng accountability. And I leave it na lang to the rest of our colleagues here in the committee na mas kabisado nila yung revised penal code, mas alam nila yung mga ganitong mga kaso, na sana mailabas po yung mga detalye na makatulong sa speediest dispensation of this case at administration of justice. Kasi talagang nakakalungkot po gamitin yung term, Mr. Chair, pero parang pelikula yung nangyari kay Jade. And it's so ironic na Arts Month pa man din. And pagboboto na po today sa Senate on third reading yung Eddie Garcia bill. So, tapos biglang ito, yung isa sa mga workers po natin sa pelikula na atin pong pinoprotektahan through this measure, through some other law that's in existence and how it's implemented, biglang nadehado ng ganito. So, yun lang naman po. I'm just urging for justice to prevail. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. Before you proceed, Congresswoman Rosas, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Bambi Emano. Okay. So, you can proceed na, Congressman
Yes.
Rosas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I would like to dwell doon na sa, Mr. Chair, sa isa kanina nating pinag-uusapan. May nakuha po bang evidence sa resort linking yung mga sinabi na suspect sa incident, Mr. Chair?
Bali, wala po kaming gamit na nakakuha sa resort dahil wala naman po kaming search warrant para halughugin ang gamit nila.
So walang kahit ano na nakuha mula doon sa ano. Pero tama po ba na naabutan nyo yung witnesses na nasa area pa rin kung nasan yung sunog?
Opo, na dumating po kami doon, nandun na rin po yung mga witness. At yun na nga po yung sinasabi ko kanina na personal po nilang sinabi sa akin yung nasaksihan nila. At sila rin po ay wala po silang relasyon sa may-ari ng bus. But sila po yung nagsalaysay lamang ayon po sa kanilang nasaksihan.
Bakit mo dinagdag yung wala silang relasyon sa may-ari ng bus?
Para mailabas ma'am na baka ma'am kung sakali ay sila ay pumapanig lang doon dahil gusto na lang nilang magbigay ng pabor, pero wala pong ganun.
So yung may-ari ng minibus, yung sinasabi mo?
Opo, yung
Sino ba yung
kooperatiba po.
may-ari ng minibus?
Ang may-ari po ng minibus ay isa pong kooperatiba.
Cooperative.
Gumaka-
Ano pong cooperative yan?
Ito po ay Gumaka Transport Service Cooperative.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Hindi dun yung tanong ko, no? Can you describe anong klase ng kalye ang dinadaanan ng modern jeep?
Ito po yung national road na galing po ng Gumaka papunta ng Katanawan. Ito po ay cemented karsada.
May ilaw sa highway.
Mayroon pong street light sa lugar kung saan nangyari yung incident.
Street light.
Opo.
Gaano kaano yung street light doon?
Bali,
Ilang pagitan? Di ba ang street light naman, ano yan nakapagitan.
sa akin po palagay, ang layo po ng pagitan ng bawat street light ay mga 20 meters. At yung
Okay.
pong pinangyarihan ay halos napapagitan po siya ng dalawang street light.
Napapagitan ng dalawang
Opo,
street light.
ang pwesto po ng bus ay nasa kaliwa po ng bus ang street light.
So hindi madilim?
Maliwanag naman po ng kahit po makikilala naman po ang mga tao base sa liwanag ng ilaw.
Ang tanong ko po, meron bang nakuha sa area ng sunog na maglilink sa apat sa insidente?
Bali wala po nakuha, ang lang po doon, yung po
So, wala.
yung po nakita ng mga witnesses.
Identification lang
Opo.
ng alleged witnesses. Walang other way to link yung apat sa insidente.
Identification lang po.
Sinabi nyo kasi kanina hot pursuit, based po sa definition ng hot pursuit, dapat may sense of immediacy na baka mawala yung crucial info or evidence. Mr. Chair, doon sa sinasabi ninyo, wala kayong ebidensya.
Opo.
Yun lang, Mr. Chair, based sa SC case, dapat the reason for immediacy is the consideration that as the time gap from the commission of the crime to the arrest widens, the pieces of information gathered are prone to become contaminated and subjected to external factors, interpretations, and hearsay. So, Mr. Chair, parang kung wala namang physical evidence, puro sa witness, so doon lang tayo nagdadwell. Ako, tingin ko, Mr. Chair, kailangan din natin malaman talaga yung specifics ng case. To give way to others, Mr. Chair, baka later magtanong pa ako, but to give way to our colleagues sa mga tanong nila. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Okay, that's the reason why we asked a while ago yung kung na-search nila yung hotel, na-search nila yung sasakyan. Most likely, kung talagang may nakita kayo doon, ang ganda sana di ba? But you did not done it. But of course, hindi naman siya, well, kung you deem it right na not to search it anymore, well, it's your prerogative being the investigator. And we respect that. Pero may tanong ako doon, General Lucas, RD, ilang weeks na sila nakakulong doon?
Sir, more than 2 weeks na po, sir.
2 weeks na. Pero nasa pa rin siya? Nasa lokal or nalipat na sa BJMP? Kasi nakapag-file na ng kaso, di ba?
Sir, nasa Katanawan Police Station po sa local.
So hindi pa siya nalilipat ng ng
Yes, sir.
BJMP. Okay, sige. Yung about do sa what you call that? Yung I'm sorry, Congressman, may tatanong lang ako, Congressman Richard, before I recognize you. Yung sa cyber patrolling, meron ako nabasa tungkol sa cyber patrolling na check nyo sa Facebook. Yung how does it work? Paano nyo ginagampanan yung tinitingnan ba natin yung mga Facebook ng mga
Bali po, nagkandak po kami ng sarili naming cyber patrolling dahil hindi po namin talaga kilala itong mga sinasabi naming suspect. Ngayon po, inisip namin na posible kaming makakuha ng ibang mga detalye sa buhay nila sa pamamagitan po ng social media.
so once na lang na merong kasong ganyan. Pero hindi kayo nagsa-cyber patrolling regularly. I mean, baka mamaya tinitingnan nyo na yung Facebook namin or whatever, yung aming privacy lahat. Walang ganon, ha?
Opo.
Walang ganon, ha? Kumbaga, sinasabi nyo lang, since may case na ganon, kaya
Yun lang
kaya
po yung
tinignan
isang
nyo.
paraan para maghanap
Baka
ng ibang
makita
detalye.
nyo yung Facebook ni Richard Gomez, may mga sikreto doon, Congressman Richard Gomez, you are now recognized.
Chair,
Thank you, Chairman. Pardon ako nakaharap. Kung pakikinggan natin yung yung story, parang merong inconsistencies, no? But that still needs to be proven, no? Nung part ng aresto ninyo, at saka nung bago kayo nakapag-file, wala bang CCTV dun sa mga paligid? Sa kalsada, sa hotel, kung nasan yung taong hinuli ninyo?
Bali po, nagkandak po kami ng backtracking sa CCTV simula po doon sa incident scene. Dumaan po ng bayan ng poblasyon ng Katanawan, gawa ng Amulanay po ay from incident scene dadaan pa po ng poblasyon ng Katanawan bago
So
po
may
makarating ng
CCTV na sundan nyo sa CCTV?
May nasundan po kami na nakasakay sa dalawang motor na 4 na lalaki, subalit hindi po namin ito napalinaw dahil ang takbo po ng motor ay mabilis.
Nakilala ng witness yung ganong kabilis?
Hindi naman po kinilala ng witness base sa CCTV footage yung mga witness.
Hinabol nyo yun? Yun yung hinabol nyo?
Tinuloy-tuloy lang po namin yung backtracking pero hindi rin po namin nakilala base sa footage ng CCTV.
Pero after a while, nahawakan nyo yung grupo ni J.D. Castro, di ba?
Opo.
Nakuha nyo yung information.
Opo.
Tapos pinakawalan ninyo. Pinalayan nyo for a while.
Hindi na rin po.
O pinabalik nyo sa hotel o anong ginawa nyo?
Bumalik po sila nung pong na-meet namin sila ni Nahepe sa 7-Eleven. Ako po ay nandun naiwan sa Mikasa. Bumalik po sila doon.
Bumalik sa?
Sa Mikasa Resort po, sa Mulanay.
Bumalik siya sa resort?
Opo.
So yun nga, ibig sabihin, binitawan nyo sila, pinapunta nyo sa resort?
Hindi naman po totally binitawan. Sumunod naman po ang mobile patrol namin kasama naroon si Hepe.
So from that point, pinatawag nyo sila ulit, di ba? Tinawag nyo ba sila ulit sa presinto?
Bali, in-invite na po simula po sa Mikasa Resort.
Kasi yun yung point na nakikita namin na meron inconsistency sa hot pursuit eh. Tama ba yun?
Bali po tungkol po sa hot pursuit. Ang idea po na nagkaroon lang po kami ng malinaw na sinasabi na sila po ang mga witness ay nung pong time na sila po ay iniharap namin nung sila po ay nakaharap ng mga witness face to face. Doon na po kami naniwala na sila po talaga yung mga witness. Nung pong sa picture, base po sa picture, hindi pa po kami talaga naniniwala na sila po yung sinasabi nilang witness. Ang kailangan pa po namin magawa, iharap sila ng face to face. At yun po yung nangyari. Kaya po nung nakaharap namin sila ng face to face, nakaharap sila ng witness, tinuro, doon lang po namin sila totally inaresto.
Gano'ng katagal ho yun? Ilang oras yun?
From the time of incident po, tumagal po ng almost 22 hours.
Part pa rin ng hot pursuit yung gano'ng haba?
Bali po, hindi po naman kami tumigil ng pagkakandak ng investigation.
Okay.
Ang katunayan po, nag-backtrack po kami ng CCTV.
Sige, salamat po. Sa part po ng family ni Direk J.D. Castro tsaka dun sa Directors Guild, doon muna sa parents ni J.D. Ano yung ginawa ni J.D. dun sa Quezon? Na miesta?
Mr. Chair, pumunta po sila dahil merong Kokolunay Festival.
Okay.
So, dumating po sila doon ng January 31.
Okay.
Actually, before po, meron na silang ka-contact doon dahil nagtatanong na sila ng accommodation tungkol doon sa festival.
Pero ang pagkakalam niyo, ang purpose ni JD is to join the festivities.
Mag-join.
Okay.
Mahilig kasi sila sa ganun eh.
Okay. So, sa part naman ng DGPI, yours is an attestation of his good character. No?
Yes.
Tama ba?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Kasi may problema tayo. Ang question ko lang ho sa inyo, especially dun sa parents ni JD, nag-file na ho ba kayo ng complaint? Pwede naman kayo mag-file ng complaint sa PLEB or sa NAPOLCOM eh. Para kung talaga may problema, ma-file nyo administrative case sila. Sa PLEB ho kasi that will only take 60 days? I think 60 days, no?
Siguro po, ang
take
mas
action?
makakasagot niyan yung lawyer namin. Mas alam kasi nila yung
Kasi matagal-tagal na rin ho
procedure.
ito. Mahaba-haba na rin.
19
Para on your
days na
part,
po.
at least to protect yourself, at saka dun sa inquiry ng DGPI, pwede naman kayo mag-file ng complaint sa kanila.
Sumusunod lang po
Opo.
kami sa advice ng mga
Ay,
abogado.
kasi marami sa amin dito nag-mayor kaya alam mo namin na isa sa mga procedures yun para at least on your part, malaman niyo rin kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga polis. Tama-tama, andyan po yung NAPOLCOM. Sa PLEB naman, pwede ho kayo mag-file sa munisipyo or sa city kung city man yun.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That's it. Okay. So, any other members who wanted to ask questions? Congressman Ace Barbers, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair,
Sunod
just
ka. Pare, ikaw sunod.
kanina kasi when Congresswoman Brosas was asking questions, she started off by asking questions tungkol dun sa karakter nung mga suspects, no? And none of our resource persons here that we invited has spoken against the character of Mr. Castro et al. No? Doon naman sa ating membro sa Philippine National Police, I just wanted to ask, Mr. Chair, doon sa inyong investigation at base din doon sa mga salaysay ng mga witnesses, pwede bang sabihin mo sa amin, ano sa tingin mo ang motibo nung 4 na mga suspects para sunugin yung bus? Meron ba kayo na-establish na ganon? Base lang sa inyong it can be your opinion, it can be based on the evidence that nakuha nyo. Sa tingin mo, anong...
Bali, isa lang po yung sinasabi namin na possible. Yung pong kami nga po yung nag-conduct ng cyber patrolling at lumabas po doon na itong si Jade Castro, ayaw niya po ng hindi po siya sumusuporta sa modernization ng jeep.
Bago kayo nag-cyber, what do you call that?
Cyber patrolling.
Cyber patrolling. I have no idea, Mr. Chair, kung ito ay tama o illegal or illegal. Kasi ngayon ko lang narinig yung cyber patrolling na word, no? Base dun sa, kasi yung police report nyo, yung inyong nabasa at napakinggang salaysay ng mga witnesses, ano sa tingin mo, you're the chief of police, no? Ano sa tingin nyo ang motibo? Ano sa tingin nyo ang motibo?
Bali, the first motive, sir, lumabas sa namin po, sir, based on assessment namin, sir, nagkaroon po kami ng cyber patrolling nga po, sir, and then yun po yung lumabas. And then pinapakita po doon sa cyber patrolling niya, talaga pong umayaw siya doon sa mga posting na ayaw niya po ng modernization chip, sir.
So dahil doon, sa tingin nyo, yun ang mabigat na motibo, kaya karapat dapat na makasuhan yung 4?
Ay, para sa akin po bilang investigator on case ay hindi po yun ang dahilan. Kumbaga, ang dahilan po kaya po namin sila kinasuhan dahil sila po ang tinuturo ng mga ng mga witness po.
Oh, yun ang sinasabi ko na yun
Nakita
dapat
po
na sagot mo eh. Ang dahil mong may cyber patrolling ka kasing sinabi.
Opo.
Kasi pag ganyan, matatakot si chairman na yung kanyang mga date nung Valentine's tsaka post-Valentine's, makita nyo rin sa cyber patrolling na sinasabi. Di ba? So, ang punto ko lamang po, Mr. Chair, is that yung pagkaka-aresto, pagkaka-file ng kaso doon sa mga suspects, alleged suspects, or suspects doon sa pagsusunog ng bus, must be first established by the police so that may basihan yung ating prosecutor. Diba? Kaya nga kanina, tinatanong ni Congresswoman Brosas kung nandito yung dating abogadong nag-handle nung kaso. Kasi he could have probably established a prima facie or mabigat na dahilan or probable cause para i-file niya yung kasong yon sa korte. Dun lang kung ambasihan lang natin yung salaysay nung ibang witnesses. Kanina sinabi, mukhang may konting hindi pagkakapare-parehas ng kanilang salaysay. So bakit ganon? So I guess, Mr. Chairman, siguro tama yung invitasyon doon sa ating dating abogado na nag-handle nito. And siguro isama na rin, I don't know if we also invited the prosecutor So
we
maybe-
haven't discussed the prosecutor yet.
Or maybe we can ask him to be present in our next hearing so that he can help us dito sa ating
Yes,
investigation.
we will do that, Congressman Ace Barbers. We will be inviting the prosecutor as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is that all, Congressman Barbers? Okay, so Congressman Arrogancia, you are recognized.
Mr. Chairman, for the information of everybody, with my colleagues and all that members of the director guilds and all the PNP officers who are here, nangyari ang crime sa distrito ko. So, Bondok Peninsula is my district, Katanawan is my district, at yung pinangyarihan kung saan sinunog yung minibus ay sa harapan mismo ng aking gate ng property ko sa Katanawan, Quezon. So, kung titingnan natin yung lugar ng layo ng Katanawan to Mulanay, and that is I think 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the evening, Mulanay is only 15 minutes away from Katanawan, Quezon. So kanina nakikinig ako habang sinasabi nyo yung statements at wala naman tayong inaakusahan na guilty rito yung mga respondents. Pero yung sa akin is my own opinion at base sa resolution ng piskal, I think it is really unfair na tingnan yung lapses ng bawat party. Ang point dito is siguro since nasa court ito, kami sa Congress, sa committee, ay maaaring pakinggan namin yung bawat party. Pero I think the best solution ay i-depend sa yung sarili sa court. Kasi andun wala na tayong magagawa Kahit magtanong tayo ng sobra-sobrang pagtatanong, andun siya sa court. Wala na magagawa tayo sa Kongreso para doon sa kaso na to. Ngayon, kung titingnan natin, tatanungin natin ng witness, personally, may personal knowledge yung witness kung sino yung nakita nila na umakyat doon sa minibus. Personally, nung pinapara ng alleged na arsonist yung minibus, according to the witness, wala naman daw bonnet. So nakita, kung sino may nakita ng witness, kaharap nila yung arsonist, maaaring yun yung kanyang experience, nakita niya nung oras na yon. So, Mr. Chairman, for me, hindi ko na kailangan tanungin ang bawat isa. Ang sa akin lang is, I am making a statement based doon sa mga nakita ko at narinig ko. At the same time, it is my district na kailangan din na gusto ko na ang bisita sa aming distrito ay safe all the time. At ang bisita sa aming distrito ay welcome. Ang mga turista ay welcome sa aming distrito, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, before we ask the NAPOLCOM, saka DILG, so we will, I know, that's the reason why I reserving your time, your last, ikaw ang muli magsasalita. Okay, ikaw na muna, bago sila yan siya. Yes, Congressman. So we'll be asking the next interpellator, are you going to yield for the moment?
Isang question sa akin, Mr. Chair.
Isang question lang daw si Attorney Rehencia. Si Congressman Rehencia. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nakikita ko rito na ang mga akusado, yung counsel nila na dapat nilang sinandalan, ay pumirma doon sa waiver pursuant to Article 125 of the Revised Penal Code. So dapat doon, hindi pinapirma sa abogado na magpayag sila na i-waive nila yung karapatan nila. Doon nakalusot yung mga kapulisan natin. Doon nakalusot ang hot pursuit operations sa ating mga kapulisan. Kay Mr. and Mrs. Castro, hindi naman ako pumanig doon sa mga kapulisan For all you know, I am a former police officer for 30 years. And I was also incarcerated for the crime which I did not committed. Nasa-charge ako ng multiple murder. So, nakulong ako ng mahigit 1 taon. Dapat dito, ayusin na lang sa abogado on the side of Mr. Castro. Kasi ang kaso na ito, arson, walang piyansa ito eh. Katulad ng murder, multiple murder. Kasi this is punishable by reclusion perpetua, reclusion temporal in its minimum period to reclusion perpetua in its maximum period. Walang piyansa yon. On the part naman sa ating kapulisan, I can say that the alibi cannot overcome the positive identification of the witnesses. This should be proven before the court of law. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, maraming salamat. So, Congressman Richard Gomez, you have the floor.
No, Mr. Chair, rejoinder lang. Sa police yung sa hot pursuit niyo, question lang. Nung dineclare niyo ba yun na hot pursuit siya, is it recorded? Blinatre niyo ba?
Bali po, ang nakablatter po sa amin noong time na dinala po sa police station.
Hindi, yung mismong action niyo, blinatre niyo as hot pursuit? Yes or no?
Hindi po napatala sa blatter yung hot pursuit.
So hindi siya,
yung
hindi siya
taken lang
recorded.
po namin ang naka-blatter.
Hindi siya recorded, hindi siya declared as a hot pursuit.
Opo, yun po mga ginawa lang po namin ang napatala doon, kaugnay doon sa kaso.
Mr. Chair, I think that's very important sa case na to. So we should get a record from the police sa actual data nila sa notes nila if dineclare ba nila as hot pursuit.
I think that was the basis of the prosecutor for them to decided na nag-decide ang prosecutor based on that doon sa submission nila which is on the procedure that they have done. It is under the hot pursuit hot pursuit situation. And that was the basis of the prosecutor.
Recorded,
but
Mr. Chair.
of course, because of the waiver of the mga accused, that was corrected yung hot pursuit. Diba? Yan yung pinag-uusapan namin dito. At anyway, ang problem nga, we have to invite si attorney, what's the name of the guy? Attorney Abadilla, no? Kasi there are allegations coming from the group of Direk Castro that hindi nila alam. But of course, we have to find out the veracity. Of course, tama rin si Congressman Arrogancia because they are all college graduate. Baka hindi sila properly informed. And that's the reason why we wanted to ask yung si attorney, para makita natin. Because may gray area doon Nagkaroon tayo ng gray area doon that it was force, push, or on their own volition. That we have to find out. Okay? So, basically, we're almost done because meron tayong second agenda. But before we proceed, before I ask the NAPOLCOM and the ILG about the issue. So, Congressman Acop, you have now the floor. Sige, ikaw na.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Alam naman po natin, and my record would speak for itself, na kung mali yung ginagawa ng pulis, ako pa ang nag-iimbestiga at nagpa-file ng kaso laban sa kanila. But this, after reading all the documents submitted by the different parties to this, kung meron mang pagkakamali ng abogado ng kabila, pagkakamali ng abogado, ginawa ng mga pulis, this was cured by the signing of the waiver pursuant to Article 125. But be that as it may, para matanong ko lang yung kapulisan, anong klaseng arson ang finalyo sa kanila?
Bali po, ang inaipal na po sa court, destructive arson po.
And this is provided for by the revised penal code but amended by a law. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Yes, Republic Act 7659. And kagaya ng sinabi ni Honorable Rehencia kanina, formerly it was punishable by reclusion temporal in its minimum period, as its minimum period, at saka reclusion perpetua sa maximum. Pero hindi na. Dapat nga to death, pero inalis naman natin yung death penalty. So, ang pinakamatagal, reclusion perpetua. Now, may I know, under what provision of law na nakalagay yung pagsunog ng minibus ay destructive arson? Kasi yun po yung final nyo na kaso eh.
Wala yan eh. Nasa PD 163, 163.
Pero may mga taong involved.
Pero sa minibus na wala.